Doug, what is your favorite movie and why? And then what advice do you have for someone who wants to make quality films for the masses but also abide by their Christian principles?
Okay, so when you're asking me movie questions, you're asking someone who's not a big movie guy. So that's the first thing. So you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. So I assume that this question is assuming besides The River Thief, right?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, we'll take River Thief off the.
Okay. You should give The River Thief the due plug.
Yeah, River Thief is a great movie, and made here in Moscow by my son Nate, and I enjoy movies, but not so much that I have a vast storehouse of experience with them. I don't watch movies a lot, but I'll just answer it two different ways. One would be if I think back over my life and think about the movie that affected me the most, and I thought where I came out thinking, oh man, that was really a good movie. I would have to say The Stalking Moon, which is an old Gregory Peck movie, which I saw in the Navy, and I just thought it was a masterful build. It was an action movie with very little action in it, and it relied a lot on the buildup of tension. It was just I thought it was a very.
Have you seen it since that moment?
No. And I'm not, and I'm
kind of would like to preserve that.
I found it. With the technology as it is. I looked it up the other day, and it's available. I could get it and watch it again, and I'm not sure if I watched it again. I'm not sure if I'd say, "Man, I was a young idiot," or "Man, the decades have vindicated that." But I remember really being affected by that movie at the time. In terms of movies that, if we applied C.S. Lewis's experiment and criticism criterion of a good book is one you return to again and again, and when you return to it, you consistently get something out of it. It's not, that's sort of. I would have to say, Pride and Prejudice, and it's not something that I would. It's something my wife and I have watched, periodically. And we watch it again. And when we do, it's not something I necessarily would have, ordered myself or dialed. But every time I watch it, I really enjoy it and get a lot out of it. I think it's, and I don't mean there are different versions of it. I don't mean the, and I'm not a movie guy, so I don't remember who's the director and who, but not the Knightley one. That's no, not Keira Knightley. That was insufferable.
Okay.
And but there's a longer one, the BBC one, which I think is really well done and enjoy a lot. Unfortunately, there are no explosions or motorcycles in it. But other than
part, yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty good.
And if you were to just rattle off 5 or 6 that in the background would have been contenders, kind of in the background.
Movies that I thought about
that you can remember thinking that was noteworthy.
Tender Mercies, which is a Robert Duvall movie. That's a movie in which it holds you, grips you, and nothing happens. Yeah. It's just it's a stretch of nothing happening, and yet it really holds your interest. So Tender Mercies would be one. Another Duvall movie would be Get Low. Was very, very good. I enjoyed A Trip to Bountiful, another low-key human psychology drama one, but it holds you. I enjoyed that. If we, there was, and of course, Babette's Feast is another one in that category.
Okay, and then the second part of it was. What advice do you have for someone who wants to make quality films for the masses, but also abide by the Christian principles? Seems like there's 3 points there: quality film, but it's for the masses, and then there are Christian principles behind.
I would say that there are a lot of things about movies. When you make a movie and you've got scores of people involved, and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars involved. A movie is a guild project. It's not just one genius painter painting on the canvas. It's like a small company, right? So, and there are aspects of doing that, managing that I would have absolutely nothing to say. I don't know how to do that, so I wouldn't advise you how to do that. But the thing that I see lacking among Christian storytellers and secular storytellers alike is they do not have a firm grip on what a good story is. They don't understand story. And so I would say someone who wants to make quality films, they should read a lot of good stories. Just read novels, read books, read short stories, pursue wordcraft, storytelling, plot construction. I think that that's the thing that's missing. What happens now is that they add more, if it's dragging, they add more explosions, or every 10 minutes the doctrine is you've got to have some sort of tension between characters, otherwise people might go get some popcorn. And that, I wasn't able to finish the Lord of the Rings movies. I think I watched the first one and part of the second one, and part of the reason was that they were they would drag in artificial tension between Aragorn and Legolas. We need to have a spat just to hold everybody's interest.
Right.
It didn't have anything to do with anything.